Billy Adams, also known as Ace and H, is a rapper from the Tampa, Florida area with street ties, described as a gang member by law enforcement. But according to his father, he was a college guy, he attended the University of South Florida, and in the fall of 2020, his father said that he was waiting for his degree to be mailed. While Ace was waiting for his degree to arrive, an incident took place at a recording studio that would change the trajectory of his life and anyone who was around him, including a young mother he started dating, her name, Alana Sims. Take a second to make sure that you're subscribed to the channel and click the notification bell for all updates. If you're watching from the Tampa Bay area, Brandon, St. Pete, Sarasota, Plant City, Hillsborough, and the surrounding counties, let me know below. On November 19th, 2020, in Hillsborough County, Florida, the owner of a residential recording studio prepared for a session that he had scheduled with a local rapper. The rapper, known as Ace and H, scheduled the studio session through Instagram. Ace was no stranger to that studio. He had been there at least 4 or 5 times. It was located in a shed in the backyard of Joseph Meek's parents' house. Ace arrived around 10 p.m. with 2 men the owner said he did not know. They all entered the small 12 by 20 studio. During the session, Joseph sat at the computer recording Ace while the 2 men hung around. Nearly 2 hours later, towards the end of the session, Joseph emailed a copy of the recording session to Ace. While his back was turned away from the men, Joseph heard gunshots. That's when he turned around and saw Ace standing there with a gun in his hand and the other 2 guys that came with him, both on the ground. Joseph had no clue what had transpired to cause that incident. All he was thinking in his head was that he was next. Ace told him that the 2 men, identified as Trayvon Arbery and Daniel Thompson, were about to rob him. Joseph was shocked. He ran out of the studio. Ace ran out as well, jumped into his car, left the scene, and went to his cousin's house. 911 dispatch received a call, and in less than 5 minutes, police responded to the scene. They first thought that it was Joseph behind this, but quickly found out that it was the rapper Ace. The 2 men, Trayvon and Daniel, DOA.
Right now, breaking news on News Channel 8.
2 people found dead in Hillsborough County after gathering in a makeshift recording studio.
So this all happened while you were sleeping in a neighborhood in Lutz. 8 is on your side with Melissa Marino. She's joining us now live with what we know so far. Good morning.
Hey, good morning. So I want to show you here an active scene. Behind this crime scene tape, you can see a number of deputies and detectives trying to piece together what exactly happened. And I can tell you behind the home here is where a studio is set up inside of a shed. And we are told that is where this incident happened. We have learned from the sheriff's office, we have just learned a 911 call came in just before midnight about a shooting. Once deputies arrived here on the 15,000 block of North 23rd Street, they found 2 people dead behind the home. That's where 8 on your side has learned a shed is being used as a makeshift recording studio. A witness tells detectives that multiple people were inside that shed or studio when someone started shooting, leaving 2 males dead at the scene. So right now we are told witnesses, they are being interviewed. The sheriff's office, they are looking for more information or anyone that has any information, but we are told they do not believe the shooting is random. We will be out here and continue to bring you updates. In Hillsborough County, Melissa Marino, 8 on your side.
Within 48 hours, police caught up with Ace. They arrested him 2 days after the incident. When Ace appeared in court, the lead detective told the judge that he was a gang member. They claimed cell phone records and social media suggested that the shooting could have been retaliation over a dispute. At one point, detectives said it was over money, and at another time, they said it was a gun dispute. They really weren't clear what the motive was. But the defense refuted that and pointed the finger at Joseph, the studio engineer, as a possible suspect. The judge believed that the evidence strongly pointed to Ace having a dispute with the victims. However, she didn't think that he was a danger to the community and granted him a $500,000 bond with several conditions, including house arrest with an ankle monitor. Then several months later, in June 2021, his attorney requested the judge to modify his bond restrictions to protect Ace and his family. They showed evidence of threats that he received from enemies, telling Ace that they wanted him, and not just him, but they would get his parents and his brothers as well.
Yeah, I'm in this with a couple killers, man.
Billy Adams is known in the rap world as Ace NH. But in the real world, he is a double murder defendant. In November of 2020, Adams is accused of gunning down 2 men in a converted recording studio in Lutz. Investigators say Adams is a gang member, and they believe the shooting was connected to a gang feud involving weapons and money.
I was facing my computer, and I heard 2 gunshots.
Joseph Meeks owns the studio and witnessed all of it. He testified during Adams' bond hearing.
What did you see?
Basically, all I seen was the people not moving and Adam standing there with a gun.
Aside from being a rap artist, Adams graduated from USF with a bachelor's degree in science in management. The judge agreed to release him on bond with conditions that include house arrest and an ankle monitor. But now Adams tells the court he and his family are sitting ducks after receiving several threatening text messages. Your whole family's gonna die. We want you first, then we want your brothers, then your parents. I want the whole clip dumped into your head. The threats go on and on. Adams' attorney now wants the bond restrictions modified to protect him and his family from any harm. The judge agrees to tweak some of his bail conditions that will hopefully avoid more bloodshed. Gloria Gomez, Fox 13 News.
And listen to this. The judge is also going to allow Adams to record in a music studio for a limited time in an undisclosed location while he awaits trial.
The judge ended up granting that request, allowing Ace to take his father to medical appointments and even allow him to have studio time. All of this while out on murder charges. The judge said that she made that decision to avoid more bloodshed. While Ace was out on bond and preparing for trial, he got really acquainted with a young woman, her name Alana Sims. That same summer, Alana gave birth to her first kid. She had a baby boy, but things did not work out with the child's father. After her son turned a year old, she soon found herself pregnant again. This time, she told friends that the father was her new boyfriend, Ace. Ace did not want a baby. The number one issue for him was his upcoming trial in January 2023. Many believed that he was guilty, but Ace maintained his innocence and stuck to his story that he took the lives of Trayvon and Daniel Thompson out of self-defense. There continued to be a lot of speculation surrounding the incident at the studio that night. Investigators found that Ace and one of the victims identified as Crips. Some believe that Ace paid one of the men to come to the studio for a feature just to record music and intentionally take him out at the end of the session. Prosecutors argued that he was cold-blooded, but Ace was able to get on the stand and convince the jury otherwise. Ace testified that the 2 men were acting strange and gesturing to one another. He testified while Joseph, the engineer, had his back turned, Trayvon pointed a gun at him. Ace said that Joseph didn't know what was going on because he was working on his computer. So Ace testified that he sprang into action, pulled out his gun, and shot Trayvon to protect Joseph and himself. Then he said Daniel tried to take his gun, so he shot him too. You don't often see premeditated murder suspects on the stand, but his decision to take the stand actually worked in his favor. The jury believed him, and the now 25-year-old man walked out of court free. Alana Sims, pregnant with her second child, she told friends that the second child belonged to Ace, and she was planning to go to a party to celebrate Ace being found not guilty and being free of those premeditated murder charges. On the evening of January 30th, 2023, the same night that Alana told the people close to her that she was going to a party to celebrate her boyfriend's acquittal, officers were called around 10:16 p.m. after someone driving in the area noticed a woman lying on the ground near the driver's side door of a Ford EcoSport SUV. When police arrived on scene, they found the deceased woman, who was identified as 22-year-old Alana Sims. Her baby boy, only a year and a half, sleeping in the back of the car in his car seat undisturbed. News reports of a Tampa woman found with headshots quickly started to spread on social media, many wondering who would do this to a pregnant woman in front of her baby. It didn't take long for the investigation to lead detectives to Billy Adams, aka Ace. Police found him at his parents' house in a gated community. They wanted to know if he knew Alana. He told officers yes, he knew her, but he had no clue that she had passed away. Ace claimed that he hadn't seen, spoken to, or messaged her in several months and did not believe that he was the father of her unborn child. Ace also claimed that he had been home the whole time that night on January 30th, and he did not leave his house until the next day. Police pulled surveillance video from the subdivision where they found Alana. The video showed a black Chevrolet Malibu with a license tag registered to Ace's father entering the subdivision at 7:22 p.m. on January 30th. Less than 15 minutes later, Alana's vehicle also entered the subdivision at 7:36 p.m. and then the car Ace was driving was recorded leaving the neighborhood 45 minutes later at 8:21 p.m. Alana's vehicle never left the neighborhood. Detectives decided to pull the security records from the gated community where Ace lived, and they found the same Chevrolet Malibu leaving his neighborhood at 7:10 p.m. and returning at 8:32 p.m. Based on this information, they believe it took Ace 12 minutes to travel from his home to the location where he met up with Alana. Then after he left the neighborhood, it took him 11 minutes to return home. When officers confronted Ace with the security time records, he changed his story. Instead of saying that he was home the whole night, he said he had gone out that night with friends. He showed them a video he said that he had taken with them that night. Police later determined that the video's date and location information had been altered. It wasn't recorded on January 30th. Instead, it was recorded 2 days later. A search warrant for Ace's cell phone turned up text messages between him and another woman on January 29th, the day before Alana was found. The messages indicated that he was upset over Alana's pregnancy, that he wanted to live his life and Alana would not be included. So here's the details of that discussion. The unidentified woman said, "I'm just so sad. I thought we was going to have a real relationship at this point, and now she's pregnant and still here." Ace replied with the word no several times. At one point, he told the woman, "You not talking me out of it. Tomorrow this S done." He continued, "I meant what I said. We finna have our life, and it don't include her ASS." Ace said, "I want the life I'm supposed to have, man." Then the woman said, "This ain't the way, baby." In other text messages, Ace reportedly told one of his friends that the police would be talking to him and appeared to be setting up an alibi. He wrote to his friend on February 1st, "Remember, 7 to 8:20. Tell him I pulled up on you." There was also a map search from his phone at 6:43 p.m. The search was for the subdivision where he allegedly met up with Alana less than an hour later. All of that was enough to arrest Ace, and once again, he conveniently changed his story. He decided to stop lying about being home all night or hanging out with friends or not seeing Alana in months. This time, he admitted to shooting Alana. And guess what his excuse was? Self-defense. The same argument that he made in his trial a couple of weeks before, really just days, that cleared him from that double murder from that studio incident in November 2020, the incident that claimed the lives of Trayvon and Daniel.
Tampa police say the man accused of killing a pregnant mom in New Tampa was acquitted of a double homicide just 3 days before her death. And as ABC Action News reporter Julie Solomon learns, police say suspect Billy Adams confessed to this latest crime.
Tampa police say 22-year-old Elena Sims was pregnant with her second child when she was discovered shot to death outside her car in a New Tampa neighborhood last month. Her 18-month-old son, unharmed, still in his car seat. 9 days after her death, an arrest has been made.
Just praise God, because that's all we wanted to do was catch this monster. We didn't know who the monster was.
Tampa police arrested 25-year-old Billy Adams on Wednesday for killing Sims. Police say the two had a relationship and believe Adams was the father of her unborn baby. Officers say he admitted to killing her.
It would appear that the motive is that he did not want to be in her life anymore and was not ready to, have a child is unfortunately how it appears to us.
A jury recently found Adams not guilty of killing two people at a recording studio in Lutz in 2020. The defense argued Adams acted in self-defense. Court documents show he was acquitted of murder on January 27th. Tampa police say 3 days later, he shot and killed Sims.
Put down the gun. That doesn't resolve anything but hurt and pain to families. Put down the gun. If you can't resolve a situation through talking, walk away. gun is not the answer.
Hillsborough State Attorney Susan Lopez sent a statement reading in part, "While we respect the verdict of the jury in the prior case, we disagree with it, and that is why we prosecuted him. We will continue to work with Tampa police to prosecute him for these latest crimes."
Now Ace is back behind bars once again, facing murder charges. The victim, Alana Sims, and her unborn baby that Ace is believed to have fathered. So Ace got off with what he did to Trayvon and Daniel because there really wasn't enough evidence to convict him beyond a reasonable doubt. You had a lot of speculation going on that he planned that at the studio, but there was only one witness. The witness was Joseph, the owner of the studio that he ran out of a shed behind his parents' house. All Joseph could say was he heard the shots. Then he turned around and saw Ace with the gun and the two men on the ground. He couldn't testify whether or not it was self-defense because he said that he didn't see anything until he turned around. So Ace was able to get a jury to at least believe that his story could possibly be true, and there wasn't enough evidence to prove that it wasn't true. But in this case, it's totally different. There's way more evidence here. I think Ace wanted to be a street guy so bad. That's why he was a college student. He graduated from USF, but was still trying to run with street gangs. This guy was crippin' in a gated community, just like he was crippin' on the schoolyard at USF. Sir, if you did not want to be a father, you shouldn't have had unprotected relations with her. Alana had just had a baby a year before you allegedly got her pregnant. Like, what do you think was going to happen? I mean, just a complete moron. Then he got off with the first incident. I guess he thought he could pull it off again, and in my opinion, this was premeditated as well. And then the girl that he was talking to, she was low-key pushing him to get rid of Alana, while also telling him not to do it at the same time. Remember, she said, "I'm just so sad because I thought we was gonna have a real relationship at this point, and now she's pregnant and still here." And then why are these women trying to have a real relationship with a killer? Ace was out on bond facing life and still pulling these chicks left and right. Like how? Even Alana being a single mother, she was planning to attend a party to celebrate a man getting off on such serious charges, and she took her baby with her? Imagine thinking that you're going to celebrate a man beating murder charges, and then the murderer murdered you. It's just something about the Aces of the world that turn these girls on. They waste their 20s running around after criminals, they have babies by them, and then later complain about not being able to find a good man. It's unfortunate that Alana lost her life. I also have to be honest. This is what I'm talking about when I say women ignore red flags and they choose these guys. They open themselves up to let just anybody and everybody get them pregnant. Every time they like a guy, they want to have his baby. Just so many lessons here. Don't ignore the red flags. Stop playing around with thug life. It's all cute until you're a victim. Young ladies, learn to either keep your legs closed or protect yourself. Just because you like a man doesn't mean you have to get pregnant. It's just too many ways you can protect yourself. And then if he's not your husband, why are you letting him have unprotected relations with you anyway? This is crazy. That's a horrible habit that all these people have. Gotta stop getting pregnant by these men who are not your husband, pushing out these babies. And then guys, you can't get angry at a woman when you are reckless with your seed. If you don't want her to get pregnant, move accordingly. Let's go ahead and get the conversation started. What do you think about this situation? Special thank you to Tommy H. I appreciate you, Tommy, for all of your support, as well as the brothers Dark Power, Charles B., and Nathaniel. Don't forget that you can support this channel as well. Links to Cash App and PayPal are below. Ladies, fellas, want a balanced analysis, want the truth from a woman's perspective? Then you're going to want to subscribe to this channel and don't forget to like and share.